Okay, welcome dear friends. The plan is to solve few numericals on boiler analysis. I hope that you have the steam tables with you and the notebooks to copy down the questions. The first question which has been asked in the polls was to check whether you understood the concept of equivalent evaporation, which was explained to you in the last lecture. Unfortunately, the answers are not very encouraging. Majority of the class have not understood this concept of equivalent evaporation. About 50% of the students are saying that the unit of equivalent evaporation is kilojoules per kg. About 11% are saying that it is percentage, and 40% are of the opinion that it is kgs of steam per kg of fuel. Okay. So the correct answer is, let me shut down this poll and give you the answer. The correct answer is the last answer, which is kgs of steam per kg of fuel. Okay. So while solving the numerical, I might explain you again this concept. Okay, but I need not waste time now. So let me close this poll and start with the lecture. Okay. So I'm closing this poll, sharing the results with you. So as you see that about 44% of the students have answered this correctly. The equivalent evaporation is the mass flow rate, okay, of steam per kg of fuel burned. Okay, so it is to compare the equivalent evaporation concept is to compare the different types of boilers operating at different operating conditions. Okay, so let me hide this and let me write down the question. So do you have the steam tables? How many of you have the steam tables? How many of you have the steam tables with you? Okay, Sharvari and Chaitali, they have the steam tables. Gargi, the answer which you have written as a equivalent unit of equivalent evaporation is not correct. The answer is either it takes the unit of mass per unit time, that is kgs per hour, or it takes the unit of mass of steam generated per kg of fuel, that is kg per kg. It is not kgs per kilojoules as you are written. Okay, only two girls have the steam tables. Three girls, Gargi, Chaitali, and Sharvari. What about others? Ganesh has got. See, if you don't have the steam tables, you won't be appreciating the way we are arriving at the values. Okay, and it is important for you to refer to the values of steam for a number of topics. In thermodynamics, for example, you would require it for properties of steam, then vapor power cycles, and in boiler analysis. Okay. So three topics are there where you will require to refer to steam properties. In the future also, when you take up higher courses, you require to refer to the steam tables. So it's a good idea to purchase a steam table and refer to the properties. Okay. So let me write down the first question. I had taken few numericals from the university papers. Okay. So the first I'll take very straightforward numericals. So the first numerical is there is a boiler. There is a boiler which is operating at 7.6 bar. Operating at 7.6 bar and generating some 5,500. This is a university problem, and generating some 5,500 kgs per hour of steam. So there is a boiler. Okay, screen is not seen. Oh, sorry, Chaitali. Let me share the screen. Okay, so now the screen is seen, right? So the question is, there is a boiler whose pressure is 7.6 bar and it is generating 5,500 kgs of steam every hour. Okay, and the steam is a wet steam whose Dyna's fraction is, it is a wet steam which is generated by the boiler whose Dyna's fraction is given as 0.98 with dryness fraction as 0.98. Okay, it is given, and it is given that the feed water is at 51 degrees centigrade. The feed water is at 51 degrees centigrade. Okay, and the coal consumed per hour is 650 kgs. Coal consumption is a coal fired boiler, so it is 650 kgs per hour. Okay, and the calorific value of the coal is given to be 30,500. Calorific value of coal is given to be 30,500 kilojoules per kg. Kilojoules per kg. Okay, so you are required to determine the boiler efficiency and equivalent evaporation. Boiler efficiency and equivalent evaporation. So try out this, solve this problem. First you find out the required enthalpies. So let me draw this. Let me draw this figure. There's a boiler which is open system. This boiler is operated at 7.6 bar. The steam is a wet steam whose dryness fraction is given to be 0.98. Okay. So you need to find first the enthalpy of wet steam. So enthalpy of wet steam would be HF plus x times of HFG at 7.6 bar. Tell me the value of HF and HFG at 7.6 bar. Tell me the value of HF and HFG at 7.6 bar. Please tell me the value of HF and HFG at 7.6 bar. Okay, so Gauri is giving me some number. Gauri has given me some answer. And HFG, yeah, correct. So Gauri and Ganesh has given me HF value. I also want HFG value. Ganesh, Gauri. Okay, so Gauri Jagtap has given me these answers. So let me write down these answers which are given by Gauri. Others can also get that answers from the steam tables. Okay. So it is HF at 7.6 bar is 711.7 plus X is 0.98 and HFG is 2053.7. 2053.7. Okay. So that gives me the enthalpy of the wet steam. That gives me the enthalpy of the wet steam, which is around 2724, which is about 2724 kilojoules per kg. Is this calculation understood? Whether this calculation is understood? The calculation of enthalpy of wet steam. Okay, thanks, Ganesh. So the enthalpy of wet steam I calculated by the expression HF plus X times of HFG because it is a wet steam and the pressure was known. So I found out the enthalpy. The dryness fraction was given. So X was known, right? So it was a pretty simple job. Now similarly, I also need to know the enthalpy of the feed water which is entering the boiler. Okay. What enters the boiler is the feed water. So I need to know its enthalpy, and the information with me is that the feed water is entering the boiler. The feed water is entering the boiler at 51 degrees centigrade. At 51 degrees centigrade. So find the value of HF at 51 degrees centigrade and tell me that value. Tell me the value of HF at 51 degrees centigrade. Raju, Chaitali, Gargi, Ganesh, Saurabh. Sharvari. Please tell me the value of HF at 51. Okay. So Ganesh is giving me some answer. HF at 51. See, if the answer is not available at 51, then you need to interpolate. Okay. So about 210 would be the answer. about 210 kilojoules per kg. Okay, either you find HF at 51 degrees centigrade from the steam table, or what you can do is that you can multiply 51 with 4.187, which is the specific heat of water, and still you will get the value of HF. Okay, still you will get the value of HF. Okay, so Ganesh has given me the answer. It is 213.52. 213.52. So 213.52 is the answer. Okay, for HF. Okay, so once you get the value of H steam and HF feed water, you calculate the output of the boiler now. The thermal output of the boiler. Okay, the thermal output of the boiler can be calculated. Now, how do you calculate the output of the boiler? The output of the boiler is mass flow rate of the steam into H of wet steam minus H of feed water. Okay, so mass flow rate of the steam is given to be 5,500 kgs per hour. So this becomes 5,500 upon 3600 kgs per second into 2724 minus 214, approximate values I am writing. Okay, so this is kilojoules per kg. So this kg would cancel off and you will be left with the unit as kilojoules per second. This would be the boiler output. So tell me the boiler output value. Tell me the boiler output value, thermal output of the boiler. Thermal output of the boiler. So how much is that? Okay. So Onkar and Saurabh has given me some answer. So they are giving me the answer as 3832. Hopefully it is correct. So 3832 kgs per second is the answer. Okay. Just check your answers and see that whatever I am writing is also correct. Okay. So 3834. Okay. All right. 3834, 3835, whatever. I just approximated the values, but it should be closer to this. Depending upon what decimals we are taking the values, you will get the correct answers. Okay. So Gauri has also given me the same answer, 3834, right? So now let me find the input to this boiler. This is the output of the boiler. Okay. Now how do you find the input to the boiler, Gauri? Kunal? Onkar? How do you find the input to the boiler? Saurabh? Sharwari? How do you find the input to the boiler? Chaitali? The input to the boiler is found as fuel consumption rate into the calorific value. Okay. So the input to the boiler is, let me just use another slide now. So the boiler output, you have got it as 3834 kilojoules per second. Now boiler input means the energy which is released by the combustion of the fuel. Okay. Now fuel consumption rate is given to be 600 kgs per hour into calorific value is given to be 30,500 kilojoules per kg. Okay, so this is 600 upon 3600 kgs per second into 30,500 kilojoules per kg. Okay, so how many kilojoules per second is the answer? Tell me the answer. How many kilojoules per second is the input? Okay, so Omkar has given me the answer as 5083. Whether others are also getting the value? 5083, okay. So Gauri has also got the same answer. Now find the efficiency as output to the input ratio. So the boiler efficiency is output to the input ratio. The output being 3834, and as Akanksha, Gauri, Ganesh has given me the answer. Omkar has given me the answer. This is 5083 in the input. So the percentage is 75%. It is 75%. Okay. Is this okay? Just cross check this whether it is 75 or no. Is this 75 for all? What was the fuel consumption rate? Whether it is 600 or 650 was given? Just a minute. Oh, sorry. I had made one mistake here. The fuel consumption rate is 650 kgs per hour. Okay. So accordingly, you need to change this value. In the question, it was 650 kgs. 650 kgs. So we'll have a different value here. Different value here. Just tell me the new values. Correct this and just tell me the new values. Correct it to 650. Because in the question, yeah, thank you, Sharwari. So 650 was given. So just correct and calculate the values. Okay, so the new values now, Kunal has given me the new value. It is 5507. Okay, so just take this as 5507 and redo the efficiency calculation. Redo the efficiency calculation. Okay. So yeah, thank you, Omkar. So efficiency is about 69%. Okay. Efficiency. All of you have followed these calculations. It's pretty simple. Whether you have followed this or no. Apart from the students who are answering me, I want others to also say whether they have followed these calculations or not. Apart from Sharvari, Akanksha, Ganesh, Omkar, Kunal, Saurabh, Chaitali, Gargi, others, can they respond that whether they understood? Others, can they respond saying that they understood? Gauri has understood. That is all right, Gauri. Gauri, RAR. I want others to respond. All right. Assuming that they are representing the class and assuming that these students have understood means the entire class has understood. Okay, I am going to the calculation of equivalent evaporation. Okay, Madhuri, thank you. Chaitali, thank you. Let me now calculate the equivalent evaporation. Okay. So equivalent evaporation, as we have studied in the last lecture, the very simple expression is there. Equivalent evaporation. To calculate equivalent evaporation, I use a simple expression of Me is equal to Ms into H of steam minus H of feed water upon 2257. Okay, so the unit of this would be the same as the unit of this. Okay, the unit of this would be the same as the unit of this. So suppose this unit is What was that? Suppose I want to express it in kgs per second. Okay. So it would be this. And same thing I can express it in. I want you to do this calculations. Okay. I want two answers. One answer in kgs per second and other answer in kg of steam per kg of fuel. Okay. That means here I need to divide this by EMF. So here in this case, I need to take EMS as this is 550 kgs per hour upon EMF as 650 kgs per hour. Okay, remaining things remain the same. And here in this case, I should take it as 550 upon 3600. So generally, you would be asked when they ask you equivalent evaporation, they would sometimes say that you express equivalent evaporation in kgs per kg of fuel. Okay. So if that is the case, then the way I had written the expression as expression 2, okay, where I am expressing this equivalent evaporation in terms of kgs of steam generated by the equivalent boiler for by consuming 1 kg of the coal. Okay, that is how is equivalent evaporation defined. So with this, for example, now it is, so how much is this? Just tell me the answer 2 and answer 1. H of steam was, let me find out what was H of steam. 2724. This was 2724. And H of feed water was, how much was that? 213.52. 213 or 214 approximately. So using this, you would get the answer. Okay. Okay, so Omkar has given me the answer as 1.7 and 9.4. Whether all of you are getting the same answer? Omkar, you are right. This is 9.4 and 1.7. Yeah, thank you, Sharvari, Gauri, Omkar. 1.7. Okay. See, these expressions are pretty simple. If you know how to refer to the steam tables and get the enthalpy values, then it's simply a matter of substituting these values in the expression of equivalent evaporation and getting the answer. Okay, so it is not very demanding. What should be clear to you is how do you get the values from the steam table. That's it. Okay. So this is one type of problem which is generally asked in the examination. Okay. That is, you need to calculate either the boiler efficiency or the equivalent evaporation. Sometimes the steam would be superheated. So in that case, instead of enthalpy of wet steam, you would have to calculate the enthalpy of superheated steam. Okay. So depending upon whether the steam is dry saturated or superheated or it is wet steam, as in this case, okay, your value of H steam would change. Okay. So I hope that it is clear to you that how do you get the value of enthalpy when the steam is superheated, when the steam is dry saturated, and the steam is wet steam. Okay. Just let me repeat this, that if just let me repeat this, that if the steam is superheated, then you can use the, you need to know the pressure and temperature of the steam. Okay. If it is a wet steam, then to find the enthalpy, you need to know the pressure and the dryness fraction. Okay, or temperature, pressure or temperature and the dryness fraction. And if it is the dry saturated steam, then for finding enthalpy, you need to know the pressure or temperature, not and. Okay, here also it is or. Okay, but here it is and. So here in this case, you need to use the superheated steam tables. In this case, you need to use the saturated steam tables. Okay, you'll find that these tables are available in the market. Okay, or you can also use the online tables for the online education. Okay, so this I hope it is clear to you. All of you are comfortable with looking at the steam tables? Any doubt in referring to the steam tables? So now let me go to another type of problem which is asked in the examination. This is about the heat balance of the boiler. Okay. So what I mean by heat balance is that will be clear to you as you write down this problem. So write down this problem now. This is again a university problem. A gas fired boiler, write down this problem. A gas fired boiler operates at a pressure of 100 bar. Operates at a pressure of 100 bar. The feed water temperature is 256 degrees centigrade. The feed water temperature is 256 degrees centigrade. Steam is produced with the dryness fraction of 0.9. Steam is produced with the dryness fraction of 0.9, and this steam enters the superheater. This steam enters the superheater. The superheated steam leaves the superheater at a temperature of 450 degrees centigrade. At a temperature of 450 degrees centigrade. The boiler generates 1200 tons of steam every hour, and the thermal efficiency is 92%. Thermal efficiency is 92%. The gas used, it is a gas fired boiler, so the gas used has a calorific value of 38 megajoules per cubic meter. 38 megajoules per cubic meter. 38 megajoules per cubic meter. You are required to calculate 1. The heat transferred per second to the boiler in producing wet steam. Second, the heat transferred in the superheater. And third, the volume of the gas consumed by the boiler in meter cube per hour. Okay, and the volume of the gas consumed by the boiler. Is the question clear? Okay. So how will you solve this question? So there is a boiler. The boiler actually includes the superheater. So I'm just drawing a block diagram. So let us say that this is the main boiler. Okay, this is the main boiler, and let us say that I'm drawing this superheater separately, okay, because this is a block diagram. So just don't worry about it. Just for understanding, say suppose this is a superheater, okay, and then it is laid out. So what is given is that the steam which is generated by the boiler is wet steam, and the steam which is coming out of the superheater is superheated steam. And for this entire plant, which includes the superheater and boiler, you need to have a furnace. You need to have a furnace, and this furnace is to supply the heat. Okay, so you need to burn the fuel. Now in this term, this is the same as volume of the fuel into its calorific value. Okay, volume of the fuel into its calorific value expressed per unit volume. Calorific value expressed per unit volume. So what is to be determined is this. Then what is to be determined is the, suppose the feed water is entering here. The feed water's temperature is given. The pressure of the boiler is given to be 100 bar. So this is 100 bar. So boiler and superheater are at the same pressure, obviously, 100 bar superheater. Okay, and the feed water is entering at 256 degrees centigrade. So 256 degrees centigrade is the temperature of the feed water. Okay, and the wet steam obviously is having the dryness fraction given as 0.9, and this is the superheated steam at 450 degrees centigrade. Okay, so this is a given information. So you are required to calculate how much is the heat which is transferred in this boiler. Okay, so this first part is heat transferred in the boiler proper, main boiler. Okay, main boiler would be obviously mass of steam into enthalpy of wet steam minus enthalpy of feed water. Then heat transferred in the superheater would be mass of steam into enthalpy of superheated steam minus enthalpy of wet steam. Okay, so this difference delta H. So this delta H, so delta H dash, this is delta H. Okay, this we are supposed to calculate. It means that you need to first calculate this enthalpy and this enthalpy. So tell me the enthalpy of the wet steam. Tell me the enthalpy of the wet steam from the steam tables. Akanksha Saunke, tell me the enthalpy. From the steam tables, tell me the enthalpy of the wet steam. So it will be HF plus XHFG. HF plus XHFG. So how do you find the enthalpy? Enthalpy of wet steam would be HF plus X HFG at pressure is given to be 100 bar. Enthalpy of feed water is HF at 256 degrees centigrade. 256 degrees centigrade. And H superheated is H superheated at 100 bar and 450 degree centigrades. Okay, so Sharvari has given me the answer as 2595.7. Please check whether 98. Saurabh has given me 98. Sharvari and Saurabh have given me this answer 95, 98, whatever. Others also, you please try and tell me the answer. H of wet steam. See, it's simple. You need to find the HF value. Okay, Gauri has also given me 2598. HF plus XHFG. Ganesh has got a different answer. Ganesh, just check. Ganesh, please check. HF at 100 bar. How much is HF at 100 bar? Just tell me. How much is HF at 100 bar? HF at 100 bar is how much? 417. 100 bar, huh? Not 100. Not 100 degrees centigrade. 100 bar. 1408. 1408. 1408. Is HF at 100 bar? Saurabh, whether Saurabh has got it right? HF at 100 bar, not 100 degrees centigrade. So it appears to be 1408. And what is HFG then at 100 bar? HFG at 100 bar is how much? Saurabh? What is HFG at 100 bar? One three one zero. Just check this. Please check the values which Saurabh has given to me. Okay, so this comes as 2598. 2598. Okay, so approximately, hopefully this is correct. Now you find the enthalpy of feed water at 256. Enthalpy of feed water at 256. Enthalpy of feed water at 256. Either you can use the steam table or you can use this formula 4.187 into 256. That should give you the enthalpy of feed water. Okay, so Kunal is giving me this answer 1072.6 for enthalpy of feed water. Similarly, tell me the enthalpy of superheated steam. Tell me the enthalpy of superheated steam. $100 bar and 450 degrees centigrade. 100 bar and 450 degrees centigrade. $100 bar 450 degrees centigrade. You need to refer to the superheated steam tables. You need to refer to the superheated steam tables for that. Please tell me the value of superheated steam enthalpy, 100 bar to 50 degrees centigrade. Is it 3237? Okay, thank you. Kunal, 3237. So please make sure that you are getting this values 2598, 207, 1072 and 3237. Okay. Please ensure that you are getting these values correctly. Gargi, have you got these values? Gauri Jagtap, whether you have got these values? Sharwari. Okay, Gauri has got the values. Sharwari, Akanksha, Onkar, Chaitali. Okay, yeah. Okay, so Anamta has also got these values. So now if you have got these values, then the problem becomes pretty simple. Okay. Now how do you solve the problem? So once you have got the enthalpy values, so as I have written, heat transferred in the boiler would be H of in this boiler, okay, excluding the superheater. Boiler excluding the superheater would be the outlet enthalpy minus the inlet enthalpy. So outlet enthalpy is for the boiler proper without superheater. It would be enthalpy of the wet steam minus enthalpy of the feed water, okay, into the mass flow rate of the steam. Into the mass flow rate. How much is the mass flow rate given? Mass flow rate given is 1200 tons, 1200 tons per hour. Okay, means 1200 tons means 1200 into 1000, 10 raised to 3 kgs per hour. Okay, this is the mass flow rate. Okay, so you can use this mass flow rate. Either you convert it into per second or you keep that as per kgs. If you keep it in per kgs, then the answer would be in kilojoules per kg. Kilojoules per hour. If you convert this into kilojoules per second, kgs per second, your answer would be in kilojoules per second. Okay. So whatever units you prefer, but please mention the units when you write down the answer. Okay. So heat transferred in boiler, just tell me the answer in kilojoules per hour. How much is that? Or you can convert it into seconds. Okay. Divide this by 3600 and tell me the answers now. So tell me the heat transferred in the boiler. Just do these calculations. Heat transferred in boiler. When I'm saying boiler, I'm excluding the superheater in this problem. So M of S into H of wet steam minus H of feed water. M of S is 1200 tons, means 1200 into 10 raised to 3 kgs upon 3600. So that becomes kgs per second upon into enthalpy of wet steam, which is 2.98 minus 1072. 2598 minus 1072 or 73. Okay, that gives me the answer in kilojoules per second. Okay, and Saurabh has given me this answer as 5.09. Okay, so I'm assuming Saurabh has done the calculations correctly. Okay, similarly, the heat transferred in superheater would be MS H superheated steam minus H of wet steam. Okay, so 1200 into 10 raised to 3 upon 3600, enthalpy of superheated steam was 3237. 3237 minus 2598. Okay, that gives me the answer for the second question. That is the heat transferred in the superheater. Heat transferred in the superheater. Okay. Heat transferred in the superheater. Akanksha, what answer you are giving me? So 5.09 into 10 raised to 5. Okay. Is this correct? 9 into 10 raised to 5 was the previous answer. And here it is 21.32 into 10 raised to 4. Just check the answers which I have. 21.32 into 10 raised to 4. Please check my answers. Yeah, Gauri, you are right. Gauri has got it right. So check the raised to thing. The first answer is 5.09 into 10 raised to 5, and the second answer is 2.12 into 10 raised to 5. Okay, 10 raised to 5. Akanksha, you are missing one unit. Okay, Akanksha. If it is 2.12 into 10 raised to 5, Akanksha. So server is asking me that in the superheated steam table for every pressure and temperature the values are not given. So for that what to do? So for that you need to interpolate. Have you learned linear interpolation in mathematics? Sharvari, have you learned interpolation in mathematics? Sharvari, I'm asking you. If I want to get the value in between, you need to interpolate it. Okay, you cannot remember it. See, interpolation means what? For example, listen to this. Suppose you have the value for 50 degrees centigrade, some value of enthalpy is given, and 70 degrees centigrade, some value of enthalpy is given. And let us say that you want the value at 53, which is not given, which is the unknown. Okay, so what you need to do is that, so for finding this, the linear interpolation is like this. This is called as linear interpolation. Have you understood this, Sharavari? Are you getting this? See, I want this value which is in between. Okay, so what I do is that I interpolate it. Okay, so H53 minus H50 upon 53 minus 50 is equal to S70 minus H50 upon 70 minus 50. Okay, this way you will get the unknown H53. This is called as a linear interpolation. This way you can find any values which is for enthalpy, entropy, specific volume. Any values can be obtained. The values which are not directly available in the steam tables can be interpolated by this method. Okay. Is this clear, Sarvari? For others also, is this clear? The linear interpolation which I explained now. Okay. Thank you, Sharvari. Uh, this is the second type of problem which you would encounter in the boiler thing. Okay. Whether boiler draft was explained to you by Pillai ma'am when she discussed boiler theory. I don't know what theory was covered, but whether boiler draft was covered. Let me show you some slides so that you'll understand what I mean. there is a power plant, there is a chimney. So without fans, if you are able to circulate the air through the combustion chamber and throw out the flue gases, okay, so using a chimney height only and the density difference, what you can achieve is called as a natural draft. Okay, natural draft is required for circulating the air, sucking the air into the combustion chamber of the furnace of the boiler and throwing the products of combustion, that is the flue gases, through the chimney. So for designing this, you need to design the chimney height. Okay, how much height I should calculate. Okay, what should be the height of the chimney I should construct in order that the air would flow through this chimney and the combustion chamber. Okay, that is called as a natural draft. If you are using a fan, okay, fan, this is a boiler, let us say this is a boiler, and let us say that you want to circulate, the height is not sufficient, height of the chimney is not sufficient, or if you want to keep the height of the chimney small and still you want to circulate the air through the grate of the grate, means grate of the furnace of the boiler, and through the other components like economizer, air heater, and finally you need to throw away the flue gases outside the atmosphere, then for that you need to uh, put a fan at the entrance of that grate, which would push the air inside this. Okay, so this would be pressurized air which would be entering this would flow through this grate, there would be combustion, the flue gases would then be pushed out, means the pressure would be above the atmosphere. Okay, so this flue gases would be at atmospheric pressure higher than the atmosphere, it would be pushed out through economizer, air heater, and finally through the chimney. So this is called as a forced draft arrangement, and in industries you'll find a different arrangement called as the induced draft also. Let me show the induced draft figure. So this is a fan, FD fan, which is called as FD fan. When you visit the boiler, you will understand that huge fans are in place to force the air into the combustion chamber and to throw out the flue gases from the chimney. And there is an induced fan. Induced fan, if you look at the location of the induced fan, the FD fan was located here, okay, at the entrance, and ID fan is at the exit. It means that it is going to create a suction, just like a blower. So it is going to create a suction, that is vacuum, okay, inside this. So this pressure, this would be below the atmospheric pressure. So air would be sucked in because this pressure would be below the atmospheric pressure. Outside air would come in, okay, because this inside pressure is below this. And why is this pressure below the atmospheric pressure? It is because of the ID fan, okay, induced draft fan. So the air would be getting into the grate, so into the boiler via the grate, then it would be used for combustion, and the flue gases would be sucked in via the economizer, air heater, and finally they would be thrown out of the chimney. So this arrangement is called as the induced draft, and sometimes you would have both the ID fan and FD fan. So in that case, it is called as the balanced draft. So whether this was explained to you, whatever I had just told you, whether this was explained to you? Yes or no? The boiler draft was covered or not? The use of fans, the forced draft fan, the use of induced draft fan, forced draft fan, so that the air would be sucked in the boiler. Whether that was explained? Or nobody's answering. Okay, so this is the last topic of the boiler. I'm not sure whether it has been covered or not, but assuming that it is covered, we would be solving few numericals of this type on boiler draft in the revision classes. So next week I plan to take some revision classes. So the link would be shared to you depending upon. Now I would declare that the syllabus is covered, but we would require lot many revisions. As I told you that this entire theory would be covered in a brief for the students who would be admitted directly from the diploma course, right? So you can join there also, and if possible, we would be scheduling some lectures where you would be taking numericals in the next week, or but the time would be different. Time would not be the time which was given to you in the timetable. So depending upon the convenience and the availability of the faculty, you might get a link on revision. Those, it is not compulsory. Those who are interested, they can join the revision classes. Okay. Let me discuss with my colleagues whether those revision classes are to be conducted. You can also let me know whether revision is required from your side. If you don't want revision, we won't be conducting that. Okay. So let me just announce that the course, the thermodynamics course, is over. You would be getting a few more videos on the topics which were covered by me in the theory classes. Okay, the videos will be posted by Professor Murukkar. He has already posted a video on Rankine cycle, and I'm sure you must have gone through that video. Um, if you want to revise the concepts, okay, which we have studied, it is a good idea to go to the videos. Okay, I would also try to share the recordings of the GoToWebinar, and I will try to upload the links if possible. Okay, of the conducted lectures. So thanks for being online. Any suggestions from your side? If you have any suggestions, I can take the suggestions before I end this class. Any suggestions or anything you want to ask from your side before I end this webinar? Okay, thank you. I hope you have started studying for the exams. You will be given some MCQs for practice on your WhatsApp groups. Okay. Thanks for being online. Have a good day. Thank you very much.